Hello and welcome. I hope you're doing all you can to help the most vulnerable people on the planet. They really need your support right now. In today's exciting episode, I finally work on the Very Hungry Caterpillar jacket. It's so colourful. I love it.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
Last episode, I finally beaded the little bolero jacket with the slices of watermelon print on there, and the back bit of fabric. I didn't have enough of the watermelon print fabric, so I used pale pink fabric on the back. And for months and months, because I made this earlier in the year, for months and months, it just sat there looking wrong. And then I finally covered it in pink sequins, and the front fabric and the back fabrics, finally, they all look like one cohesive whole. So I was very, very happy with that. And after I finished that, I was like, ooh, watermelon. So the big sparkly watermelon sequence on the back. After this is literally the first watermelon that I did. And then I did a larger slice of watermelon on the back of the second watermelon jacket. Here they are. It's really confusing now because the pink one with the pink sequins, I'm now calling that the second watermelon jacket. But anyway, this larger second slice of watermelon made out of sequins was obviously the one that I did next. And then after I did that, I was like, ooh, I could, instead of putting a triangle on the back of the very hungry caterpillar jacket, I could put a massive slice of watermelon on that, because on the boleros it was a little bit too big for the boleros, because boleros is such a tiny jacket. But with these kimono style jackets, you use basically one whole yard of fabric. So anyway, that's what made me think of the Very Hungry Caterpillar jacket, which is the one that I'm doing now. And yeah, so I wanted to do fringe beading, and I have had this massive jar of all different coloured seed beads in it. Seed beads are actually made of glass and they're not perfectly round, but I've also got some tiny little plastic beads, the same size as the seed beads, but they're made of plastic and they are perfectly round. So I'm going to do fringe in all different colours, really gorgeous, colourful fringe, because Very Hungry Caterpillar is a kid's book, and I wanted to do something that was just absolutely adorable. I did think about hanging the ducks off, but I was like, no, let's focus a little. Let's not put every single toy on one jacket. Let's just do colourful strings of beads on this, print from this famous kids book, which I absolutely love. Originally, I was going to put flowers in it because, obviously, caterpillars eat flowers and leaves. That's what they do. But in the book, they eat junk food. And as a child, that I don't know, I wasn't allowed junk food, I guess. So I was like, why are they allowed junk food? Anywho, so I decided to, I was going to string them on in just multicolours, anything. But when you're beading, it's a little bit boring. And if I just put on any bead, it would have been mindless. So I like having a little bit of focus. So I was like, I'll do this color on this strand, all the yellows on here, all the browns and beiges on this one, that sort of thing. And then I was like, oh, so the pink ones are Boo, and the aqua and purple ones are Sully, if you know Monsters Inc. I just absolutely love that movie. And then, yeah, so there's some look some of them look like toast, or they look like, I guess if you have milk in your coffee, they look like different types of coffees with lots of milk, not so much milk. So yeah, it was really entertaining. So to bead it, you can't just do all the beading at once, because you sort of have to spread out the weight. So it's done in 4 layers. I did the first one, and then I put my thumb, and then that was my spacer. I just put my thumb there, and then I did another one, and then I went back and did halfway between all the ones that were there. And then this is the first section. I haven't finished the whole of the sleeve. Oh my goodness, these kimono sleeves are so ginormous. Like, they're wider than a trouser leg. They are so wide. And yeah, I don't really like working on kimono style sleeve jackets, although next week's jacket is also going to be another one. I put lemons on a jacket that with a lemon print. It's very cute. But yeah, so this is me just doing, as you can see, I still haven't done, that one's every second one, and it's still looking very sparse and awkward. But aren't the Sully, like the little strings with aqua and mauve on them, aren't they adorable? And then you sort of have a dark purple one lurking nearby, and that's the Randall. He's the one of the bad characters in Monsters Inc. So anyway, that was entertaining me while I was doing all this beading. I do like these 2 separate samples of beading, but yeah, I ended up just keeping on going with the beading. Some strands have just mustard yellow, because there was a lot of this one particular type of mustard yellow, and I think I was going to use them for the centers of daisies actually, but oopsie, I used them up. I should have left them out. But yeah, that's the problem with this massive mixed jar of beads. Like, I was going to use the mustard yellow ones for the centers of daisies. I was going to use all the purple ones on a particular floral print jacket. I was going to use all the pink ones on save them for the flamingos. And I'm like, yes, but if I save all the beads in that jar for all these different projects, I'm always going to have this bag, this massive jar of beads that never gets used, because it's so difficult to, when you have this jar of mixed beads, it's like you have to go through the whole thing. I went through it once to get the black beads and the red beads out for one project and some white beads, and it just takes forever to go through the whole thing. And I was just like, no, I'll just use them all up on this project. I ended up only using up about half the jar. I showed you at the start of this video the jar that's half full, and this is what I use the other half on. And at this point I'm getting slightly worried. I feel like I should have done, it would have been better to do layer 1 on the left cuff, layer 1 on the right cuff, layer 2 on the left, layer 2 on the right, layers 3 and 4 on the left, layers 3 and 4 on the right. And that way there would have been much more even, because I'm sort of, as I bead, I get more decisive in what I want the color scheme to look like. So the first ones are rather patchy and they're all over the place, but then then I just get better and better, more refined, and they sort of make a smooth transition between each of the colors. And some, like, I think the second one looks better. The first one looks a little patchy, but I don't know, maybe it's just me that can tell. But even if they are different, it's still going to be cute. Like, if you're at a birthday party and a kid comes over, they'll be like, this side is different, and it'll be something to look at for the kids. If they're like, they hurt their knee or something, they fell over while they were playing, it will distract kids. So yeah, I don't know, I think it's cute anyway, but most people I don't think will notice it. So anyway, obviously late at night I finished the second sleeve, and so this was my inspiration, and I did think about using bigger beads, because I do have bigger round plastic beads in lots of different colors. And ultimately I was like, no, I'm just going to use these. And yeah, so at this point I was trying to decide, because I'd done the 2 sleeves, I was trying to decide what to do for the torso, because on that teal and pale pink jacket, I ended up doing a double layer around the neckline. So with this one, I think I end up doing 2 layers around the neckline. Like, layer 1 has the 4 layers in it, and then I do a whole second layer that has 4 more layers in it, just because the neckline, it's really difficult to make a neckline look good. Just really, really difficult. I did think about doing 2 full layers, 2 full sets on the hem as well, but I ended up only doing 1, so full set. So there's actually 4 layers in it. But yeah, you get what I mean. So this is the first full layer. Then I've started the second layer, and it just, like, I know that it always goes through this awkward, ugly phase, but every time I'm like, wow, this looks so rough. It looks so rough. And yeah, you just got to have faith. You really just got to have faith. And I know that the center fronts of the jacket, like, there's a lollipop on either side, and the placement of the pattern is a little bit awkward, but this was literally all the fabric that I had left. Also, the sleeves are slightly different. See, you can just see the top of another row of food on this one, whereas on the other cuff you can see, and on the bottom of the jacket you can see definitely, like, this is on this cuff, it's half all the row of fabric of bits of fruit and bits of food. So yeah, it's such a cheap fabric. I should have just bought twice as much, like, compared to how expensive tweeds are. Yeah, and I didn't have enough fabric for the back, and I'm just working on the cotton bits at the moment, and obviously the back of the neckline. I think I just forgot to do the back at the bottom, but yeah, it's looking good, but it's definitely going to need 2 layers, 2 full sets of beading around the neckline. It's ridiculous how many beads the neckline takes to look good. It takes so many. Anyway, I was talking about the print placement. So I only had, like, such a small amount of this fabric left. I could have pulled apart another dress that I have where I used the rest of the fabric, and I could have cut the whole jacket out of that, but I didn't, because I like that dress. It's really cute. So that's why I use that back fabric. And I don't think it makes much of a difference. I think there's so much mustard used in the artwork of this print that the back piece ties in really well. It is awkward using 2 different types of fabric. So yeah, I think it would have been better if I'd used mustard floral in cotton, which I do have. But anyway, I'm just so used to buying tweeds that my mentality is, like, tweeds are super, super expensive. For example, last December they had all the post-Christmas sales, and they had all these cotton prints reduced. So I bought loads of cotton. And even though I bought loads of fabric and some sequin fabric and some faux leather, and even though I bought loads of different fabrics, I still spent less than I would have spent buying 1 yard of tweed fabric. So yeah, my mind, and because for 15 years, basically I just worked exclusively with tweed and silk, they're just really, really expensive because they're so well made and they're such good quality and they last forever. Cotton if you treat it well, cotton lasts a really, really long time, particularly quilting cotton, because it's a thicker, more robust cotton. It will last and last as well. But yeah, in my mind, fabrics that I use are super expensive, so I just have to make do with what I have. I can't like run out and buy another yard. So that's why the placement of the print isn't the greatest. I have to just remember that cotton isn't prohibitively expensive, but I mean, it does make me a lot less wasteful, which is good. Anyway, this is me showing you the beads. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but some are glass and they're imperfect. And then the much lighter weight plastic ones are a nice round shape. I think it's good to mix the two because you definitely need the weight of the glass beads, but it's also nice to work with some that are actually round rather than the sort of, unique shapes of the glass beads. You can get super, super expensive A-grade glass beads and you can get them in round, but I don't know. I like seed beads and the uniqueness of each one, but it's also nice to mix some lightweight ones in there. Anyway, so here we are with the whole of the 4 layers done. You can see that the neckline, even though the whole set of beading is done, it's still a little bit gappy and not full enough. The centre fronts, they look amazing. Oh, and obviously it would take a million years to swap out every colour thread if you wanted to do an entire strand of purple, an entire strand of aqua. Then you would need to use aqua thread so that your anchor bead could be aqua and the aqua thread would blend in with it. So I ended up just doing the anchor bead, the bead on the end of every string of fringe, is the same color as my thread, and I just happened to have loads of bright green thread, and looked at the jar, I was like, yeah, there's a lot of bright green beads in there as well. So that is, and obviously bright green went with the caterpillar, so that is why I did bright green. And green's my favorite color too. So yeah, that's why every single strand has the same color on the end, same-ish color on the end. And I think in this particular case, the green was such a good choice. Like it blends, you don't really see it. I think if I'd used any other color, it would have just been much, much more obvious. But because like there's the green pickles, there's the green caterpillar, and I just think it was a really good choice. I think you could have gone mustard perhaps, but I don't know that I actually have. I do have a lot of mustard beads, but I'm not sure I would have had enough. Also, I don't have enough mustard thread to do that. But I also think there's so much mustard, yellows, browns, mustard in the artwork, like in the actual prints. If you didn't have mustard in the fringe and you just had to use all your mustard beads or as anchor beads, I think the anchor beads your eye sort of ignores them. So if you'd used mustard as the anchor beads, I do think they would have been even less visible, the anchor beads. But I do think you would have missed having mustard in the fringe. I think people would notice if there was no mustard in the fringe, just because there's so much mustard in the artwork. I do think people love to criticize my work, because it's something you could do. It's ridiculous, but I think a lot of people will criticize this fringe for having pink and purple in it, whereas there's no pink or purple in the artwork. And you are correct, but as I said, I had so much fun doing little sullies and boos all through the whole thing, and the occasional Randall. There is a section where there's a pink with a purple and there's no sully colour in there, and that's where Randall kidnaps her and takes her away. But then there's another big sully section right near it. So it's really cute. If you sort of look at the whole thing, you can see, and you know the story of Monsters Inc., you can see which parts of the movie I've done where. It's really, well, it kept me entertained. Oh, and this is me showing you how many beads I have left. I did find some teal beads and some bright yellow beads elsewhere, and I put them in the mix as well. So I have, yeah, I've used up about half the jar, which is pretty good. And honestly, I love this. I absolutely love this. But these kimono sleeves, oh my goodness, they just take so many beads. I love this colourful fringe. I think it would look even better on a tiny little bolero jacket though. I just think it would look so amazing. So now I think I'm going to root around in my made jackets that have that are waiting to be beaded. I've got a couple of storage boxes full of them, so I think I'm going to go through them and try and find a little bolero jacket that would be suitable to put colourful fringe on, because this was so much fun. I think on the next one I'll do a different colour anchor bead depending on which print I choose or whichever bolero jacket I choose. But this one was so much fun. And yeah, obviously I went around and I did another set of beading on the neckline. So another whole 4 layers. And then I also, when I was doing that, I also did the back. So now it's completely done. The base beading is completely done. And I just have to do the watermelon. You really should do the feature on the back before you do fringe beading, because fringe beading is almost impossible to work around, because when you're doing the sequin work on the back, obviously you have to pull your thread through the back and then turn it around and pull it up again, and the fringe just gets, like, your thread just gets caught on all the fringe. So what I'm going to do is pin the fringe on the back. I did think about just leaving it and then doing the watermelon first, and then this is me organising. I'm still going through my bead collection, organising everything, so I found some more strawberries. Anyway, so yeah, when I do sit down to do the watermelon on the back, which I'm not going to do at the moment, but I'm going to pin a spare scrap of cotton fabric over the fringe just to get it out of the way, sort of thing. And then I'm going to bead the whole of the back, embellish the watermelon slice on the back, and then I'll carefully unpin the cotton, let the fringe go free, and the jacket will be done. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that this one turned out. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've been inspired to make something colourful for yourself. This was such a joy to work on. It was so much fun using these colourful beads. I haven't had that much fun. It was just a joy to do this. Difficult, but it was just a joy to work with so many different colours all at once. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and happy sewing. Happy colourful sewing and beading.